Yeah, it's that Under Library Institute right outside of Madras, Chennai, is quite a wonderful, famous place where the Theosophical Society had its base there.
This is the small version? What the hell?
It's really beautiful.
Cool.
I mean, Chennai, for the most part, it's a total mess. And you come to that Adyar, oh, it's so gorgeous.
Oh, this is above my level.
Neato.
Wow.
That's from
Ezra?
Yeah,
That's gorgeous.
it is.
Ezra?
Well, it's the bigger one, it's just bigger the other one. You have to actually.
Oh, it's just.
Is that Ezra? Oh.
Ezra, have you
Hey,
met
hey.
Dr. Phillips?
Hey, namaste. How
Uh-huh.
are you?
This is my teacher, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go in just a few minutes.
In just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. But you have to be patient.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay. It's on the table. It's on the desk.
He's getting big.
He's getting big. Yeah, I know. Like he's
The main
had this
thing that
growth
he does.
spurt that's like.
Seems like he's shot up since the last
It's a
time I
little
saw him.
I
ridiculous.
know. He's
Yeah.
8 years old and he's like the tallest one in his class. He's a little giant.
Let's do this refrain at the very last page of your of chapter 3. I can't remember what number it is.
Well, it's chapter numbers. It's page 40 of the reading.
Okay, page.
I'll take my own.
Page 40. So you see that? See the Om, right? So everyone, we'll do it all together. Ready? Om. Everyone, Om. Can you hear you? Om.
Tat Sadati Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Sambhade Karma Yoga Nama Tritiyo Dhyaya.
The third chapter named Nama Karma Yoga. And we're going to get more Karma Yoga in chapter 4. Which one are we on now, Ben?
I believe we are on verse 35.
35. Okay. 35. The last one before Arjuna. Okay.
Yes.
And you have prepared 35.
I did.
Okay, good.
Shreyan Svadharma Viguna Paradharmat Svanush
Swa. It's Su and then Anutishta.
Oh, Su.
Su is like Su Yogi, Su Yogini. Su you can put on anything, means good.
Oh.
You know?
It's not Sva like your own Dharma.
My
Dharma. Svadharma.
Where are we? Okay.
Oh, Sva. No, it's Sva Anu. I see what you mean. Okay.
Wait a minute.
You're right, Su. I see it now.
I think it's got to be
Well done.
Su. It's
well
got to be
practiced.
Su because
Right.
of the Anu.
Thanks. Yep.
Right,
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
But it is.
I see now.
But there's Swadharma in the next line.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, Swa means your
Yeah.
own.
Svadharma twice. I think that threw me off.
Yeah, but this is Su.
2 svas and a su.
Su Anushtita. So
it.
good.
Su anushita.
Tita. So,
Yes.
okay, Swadharme.
Swadharme nidharma.
Nidanam.
Shreya paradharmo bhayavaha.
Bayava.
Bhayavaha.
Bayava.
Yeah, so it is better, Shreyan, to do Svadharma, your own duty,
Right.
Viguna, poorly, then Paradharma, then someone else's, Su, Anushita, right? To do it well, to practice well someone else's dharma. And then, svadharma, your own, better to do, shreya, better to die, nidhanam, doing your own duty, your own dharma, than, better, right, and then doing another's duty is, what, dangerous or problematic?
Bhaya is fear, right? And so bhaya is like in pranayama, right? You have prana and then and then yama, so it's pranayama. This is bhaya vaha. Vaha is to carry, so avaha, bhayavaha means carries fear.
Yeah.
The other brings fear, the doing the other's dharma.
Yeah.
Even if you do it really well.
Uh-huh.
And you found nidhanam is death.
It can, yeah. It can be like setting down or something, but it can also be like the end, or can mean death. Anyway, Munir Williams seems to think so.
You looked it up.
I did. And I'm gonna double check, but I did, I swear it.
This is, which number is this?
This is 35. What's that? I still don't know. Need
All right. Death.
Yes, the good Monir says that it can mean conclusion, end, death, destruction, loss, annihilation. Apparently in the Manusmriti, or the Varaha Mihira, I don't know that book. Oh, and it seems to be his opinion in the Mahabharata as well.
Okay, good. So, you have SanskritDictionary.com?
I did, yeah, right, which includes Monir Williams.
Yeah, it has Monir Williams and also Apte.
Apte.
And sometimes A.A. McDonnell. At the bottom, A.A. McDonnell gives the most colloquial meanings. He's so good.
What do you think? Can I ask you what you think about Edgerton, or the concept of Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit? Is it its own thing? Like, how different would you say, like, Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit? Do you consider it very different? Does it deserve to be considered its own?
I haven't studied it.
Okay.
I just, as a guess, have thought of it as somewhere between Sanskrit and Pali.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure.
Okay.
But you keep learning Sanskrit, you'll get nirvana, nibbana in Pali.
Nibbana, right? Yeah.
It's so evident.
Yes.
The derivation.
Yes.
If you know Sanskrit, if you look at the Pali.
Right.
That's why Tabor, he learned Pali really fast.
Yes, okay. That makes sense.
Tabor's a guy at UNM.
Uh-huh.
I think he's working on Pali a little bit now.
Cool. Okay.
So
thanks.
very good. Okay. So this is this is quite a nice verse. You have your own way through life, right? Now, some give other interpretations of that, like making Dharma more specific to your age and sex and so on.
Yeah.
But if you take it just literally, it says though you have your own way through life, and it's mapped out for you.
Why do you think brings fear? Why fear it? If you do someone else's duty,
Does it say fear?
yeah. I guess the I turns into a Y, so that's by Bhairava.
But you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why do I think that brings fear? Well, it seems as though it's alluding to reincarnation because of
So it's
death.
adding karma to your life. and
Yeah,
making
your karma, right? And you have your own sort of series of lives. If you start developing some scaras, I don't know how that's going to work out. You know, in chapter 6, Arjuna says, "Hey, this is way too hard. I'm not going to make it." And Krishna says, "Don't worry. You just do your best. Do your thing. You'll be born into a family of yogins. You'll get a very favorable rebirth." Like Ezra.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not so sure.
No, I feel lucky. I feel like I'm his mom. Yeah.
Yeah, he may be your teacher. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, so the next person in the lineup, batting second, is Kendra.
Okay.
Okay, she's going to do Arjuna.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Yeah, Arjuna said.
Arjuna said, Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha
Anichan api.
anichan api
Good.
Varshneya
Arshneya.
balad eva niyojita.
Niyojita.
Niyojita. Oh yeah.
Visarga.
Niyojita.
Okay. And did you work out the translation?
No, but it looks like Ben did. Yeah.
So you got your cheat sheet over there.
do.
You're looking over.
Let's see though. Charanti. Said, now what brings a person to commit such an evil, O child of Vrishni, without even wanting to, as if impelled by some other power?
Okay. By force, Balat.
Who's Vrishni?
Balat, Eva, as it were. Right. So what makes us do what's wrong? Very good. And
Yeah, Vrishni.
Who's
is-
Vrishni?
yeah,
that's a good
this
plan.
is a very ascetic end of chapter 3, and it's all about kama, desire, and krodha.
Anger.
And I think I mentioned last time the Tantric Abhinavagupta, whose commentary on the Gita I've been reading, he's very negative about krodha, but not so negative about kama.
Funny, yeah.
He says kama obscures the bliss of the self, but krodha is really terrible. It leads to all sorts of bad ends. The anger. And so, but yeah, I mean, the yogis, there's so many stories, right? The yogis who practice brahmacharya, celibacy, build up a tapasya, they build up tapas, a kind of spiritual energy. And so there are a lot of Puranic stories. One very famous one with I've forgotten the name of the yogi. In any case, he has such tapas that he's threatening to burn up heaven. And so Indra and the other gods get together and they send down one of the apsarasas, the heavenly nymphs, and it works. He loses his tapasya, but some great hero is born. So so anyway, there are lots of stories like that, right? And Parvati, Shiva, right? I mean, Parvati, Kamadeva is Cupid, and why is Cupid bodiless? Well, Parvati fell in love with Shiva. He was meditating on the mountain. Parvati is the daughter of the mountain, the daughter of the Himalayas. And so she enlists Kamadeva to help her bring Shiva out of his trance, and maybe they can get married. And Shiva is disturbed, and his third eye opens and burns up Kamadeva. So Kamadeva is now bodiless. But Parvati doesn't give up. She stands on one leg in Vrikshasana for, 15 million years? A long time. A really long time. Until she builds up so much tapas, Shiva can't ignore her. And they get married.
And then comes
they have Skanda,
Ganesh.
and they have Ganesha, right?
Right, Ganesh is their
The whole
kid.
story behind it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to explain it to my grandson.
Anyway, but we're going to get the very negative stories about the Gita's pretty tough here. Any volunteer? You want to try this next one? Okay.
Sure, but not translating though, sorry, not there yet.
But you're going to read
Sure. Sri Bhagavad Nuvacha.
Sri Bhagavan, that's the blessed
Sri Bhagavan.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Uvacha.
said,
Kama Esha Kroda Esha Rajo
Rajo
Rajoguna Samudbhava
Samudbhava, origin, right?
Mahashano
Mahashano Mahapama
Vidye Namiha.
I think this is Vidhi. The ya is really an e.
Okay.
So it's Vidhi that changes the ya because of the following enum,
Right.
which is a pronoun like Asia, right? It's accusative, singular. So Vidhi enum iha vairanum. So the answer is it's kama, it's kroda, and this is a compound, and it's a bahuvrihi compound. Bahuvrihi is, bahu means much, vrihi means rice, and it's not like doghouse where you're talking about a house. When you say much rice, you're not talking about much or rice. The main thing you're talking about is outside the compound. That's what a bahuvri is. It's so it becomes it's he who has much rice. So there's this. It's a genitive bahuvri. So this is whose origin, samudbhava, is the guna of rajas, is the raja guna, rajas, right? In the Sankhya system, there's tamas, rajas, and sattva. And one of the sort of basic Sankhya yoga teaching is try to make your life sattvic. Try to make it sattvic as best you can. Mahashano, that's the devourer. You have to go. Okay. Mahapapma, not that's wrongdoing. Vidhi enam, this is the enemy. Vidhi, know here that this is the enemy. Okay, so
Sergeant broke the other way on what's the source of what. How do you tell Right, so Sargent took Raja Guna to be the source of.
Oh, I see. He
desire
took it
and
as as just the predicate. It is, instead of whose origin is such and such.
Yes.
It is.
How do you? I mean, you have to guess.
Kama, Krita, Aisha, Raga, Gunos.
I mean, that was what I thought at first too. Was your
Kama,
side,
Aisha,
but-
Krota, Aisha, Raga, Guna, Samudbhava. I'm sorry. I think mine is reading is more natural.
I felt that way when I first saw it. I was surprised that he said this.
He makes mistakes.
Okay, but we don't know. How do you, when you say it's more natural, why? Because you recognize the compound.
Well, because it's nominative singular. Samudbhava is nominative singular.
Right. It's the
Okay, and but you have two. You have Kama Aisha, Krota Aisha. So it looks like if it were in a positive, the way he's reading it, where one is the origin instead of whose origin, like I was reading it, it looks like it should be in the dual instead of the singular. That's why I say it's better to read it as a both read. This is so boring to some people, I know.
Okay.
But, you know, he's learning the grammar.
Okay.
And that's a good question. It could be either one.
Yeah.
But if it were in a positive, the way Sargent is reading it, it looks like only Krota would be the. But anyway, it's not. It's got to be my way because it's
Guna.
it's
a
yeah. It's
fundamental
not
quality.
Krota is the origin of the Guna Rajas. That
weird.
makes sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Krota, whose origin is in there?
Has to be. Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to be the way I
I
read
agree.
it. I
Yeah,
take
that
it
makes
back.
sense to me.
He's wrong.
So,
Okay.
Esa is,
Ish.
Aisha is that how it is?
Yeah. This.
This, yeah, it's just a pronoun. It's a demonstrative pronoun. Just
this
this.
desire, this anger.
Excuse me?
I'm just,
Yes.
yes.
The answer, this is comma, it is, or I think maybe a kind of
Okay.
colloquial translation. He said, what is it that does this? Well, it's comma, it's Krota, whose origin is Rajaguna.
Yes.
It is the great devourer, the wrongdoer. Know this as the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to try one?
I'll give it a shot.
Good
Okay.
luck.
And the problem with what you've got, it doesn't, there's, you know, Sandhi is in Sanskrit, there are like, I'm sorry to say, about 40 rules governing the way two words come together. Like in French, you say vous allez, right? Or in English, you'd say come here, right? If you said come here, that's a little bit different, right? It's be like you're kind of mad or something, right? Like come here, but we don't write that way unless you're Faulkner or some, you know, novelist, right? We write come here. But in Sanskrit, it's written the way it is pronounced. And so there are all these rules about how two words come together, how vowels join with other vowels, consonants change, and so on. And so we'll have to help you, since the Sandhi is not broken in what you have. You give it your best shot. Dumena, and this is a Sandhi. Dumena avriyate.
Avirate.
Veneer, that's one word.
That is one word.
Mhm.
Veneer.
Mm-hmm.
Veneer. Veneer.
Yatha darsho.
Yathar Destro. Malina Ka.
Malena cha. Good.
Malina Cha. Yatho.
This is Sandhi again. It's yatha and ubena. So two words, and that's a Sandhi. A and u come together, make o, like kata, and Upanishad come kato Upanishad. Right? So this is yata and uba, yatoba, yatobena, avrito,
Yata or Bena.
yata ubena
Bena.
avrito,
Aavito. Garbahas.
garbus.
Garbus.
That's another Sunday. Garbus, tata,
Garbastata. Tina.
tena.
Tena.
There's a lot of Sunday here. Tena idam avritam. Tena idam avritam.
Tina ada ema Briton.
Very good, very good. So dumena, that's instrumental singular, by or with. So yata means as. We have yata twice, and the construction is yata as so. Like as it's this way, so it's this way, right? So as yata, right? And word order in Sanskrit doesn't matter because everything's a case, everything's declined, everything fits together grammatically, so word order doesn't matter. So word order is determined by meter. So it gives a freedom to the poet to arrange the words so it's a nice meter. So in English, though, we would start with yata, and then the subject is vanir. That's the nominative singular. As a fire is surrounded or covered by smoke, and cha, as a mirror. So they had mirrors back there. Adarsho is covered by dirt. Malena. Yeah. You know, that seems to be a kind of yogic joke in malasana.
Oh yeah.
Because it's easy to say malasana.
I bet you it is malasana.
It's not malasana,
I bet
it's
you
mala.
it is. I
But
don't buy it.
malasana means the dirty pose.
Well,
right?
then you ask.
Listen.
You tell me this. You tell me this, okay?
I know.
Do I look like a
Yeah, I know.
garland?
It's I mean, it's a joke. We call it malasana, but it's easy to think of it as malasana since that's how people in India
75% of the world,
world
shits
does
like
their
this.
thing that way.
I bet you.
Oh, you bet it was malasana, and then some prudish person changed it to
I
malasana.
blame my anger. I Probably Iyengar.
No, it was further back. I bet it's in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika.
It's not.
It's not?
No.
Malasana?
It's not in. It's not in the
Okay. All right. So it's covered by dirt, mala. Yata, and here's garba. We had Tathagata Garba is the name of the potential Buddha within us all.
Yeah.
That's the closest you Buddhists come to having a self.
Garba Pidasana in.
Oh,
Right.
Garba Pindasana.
Right.
Yeah, the embryo.
Yeah.
But in Buddhism, I think it's the potentiality for everyone to become a Buddha. We're all Tathagata Garba. We all have the potentiality to be a Bodhisattva, a Buddha. And so here we have Garba, right? A Garba that is covered, avrito, by uba. That's a word that I have never come across except in the Gita. It's by the whatever covers and when a baby is born.
Swaddling. It's like the,
Yeah, I don't know it's organic though. It's the kind of
the placenta?
Like.
yeah.
But it's more like a. I don't know. It's like a.
It's like
almost like a membrane or.
yeah, there's some
Well,
kind of
that's what the placenta is. It's like
yeah. Is that it?
No, the placenta's next to the.
Yeah, it's not the placenta. It's some
Right, the baby's wrapped like an embryonic sac.
yeah,
Right,
something like
which is
that.
next to the that comes out with the baby, but then the placenta comes out later.
Oh.
whatever. Oh, you're talking about that's maybe covering the baby?
Yeah.
It's
right.
like-
Yeah, of course that's the metaphor,
Not
right?
meconium, it's gosh, what is the name of that?
I
Because you're covered in this.
Yeah, so again, it's a metaphor,
Fatty
right? It's
stuff.
or a simile, right? As a garba is covered with an ulva, so right, tata.
Conveniently, it seems like uba can also just mean the womb. Right.
Garba can mean the womb.
Uba
Uba can mean the womb.
can also just mean the womb, right? Right, and which is maybe
Oh, I see. Because
convenient.
as the garba is in the womb,
Yeah, right.
is covered by the womb.
Can
Okay.
also mean.
Tena idam, like that. This one is covered by that.
Yeah.
Two pronouns. Idam, this is covered by that.
This the. Oh yeah. Okay. This being.
Okay, so we're to 39.
Wait, what is the this that's covered like that? Just like
It's
smoke and.
it's
It's like a repetition or.
What's covered by.
Tata
Rajas?
Tena idam,
Yeah.
Purvamada Purnamidam. You know that mantra?
Yeah, but what's this referring to? What's the.
This, it goes back to
What's covered?
What's
What's covered by Rajas?
what is this referring to? Huh? Wonder what idam refers to. Must be Purusha. No, that's Purusha is masculine and idam is neuter. Oh.
I mean, if we're gonna be Sankhya about it, we'd say like
The self?
Buddhi.
Buddhi's feminine. Idam is neuter. You always have to agree.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You always use a pronoun that agrees in gender with its antecedent.
Right. Okay.
So, but you know how sometimes in English we just say it, and I bet you Shankara says
Check it
idam
out.
means Atman.
It's in the next verse.
Oh, it's in the next verse.
Sorry. It looks like it's jnanam.
Jnanam.
Oh.
It's jnanam, and that's neuter.
No,
Yeah, and that's neuter.
That's neuter
Yeah.
singular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
There.
wisdom or knowledge or.
Yeah, knowledge,
Yeah.
enlightenment. Okay,
Sorry.
all right. So do you want to toil through one, or
Sure.
okay,
Auritam.
good.
Yanam.
Jnanam against Sunday. Jnanam etena.
Yanam metena.
Well, let's break the Sunday because to get the individual words, you have to break the Sunday. You have to split it apart. So jnanam is one word and etena is another word. Now, if we're chanting, we'd go avritam jnanam etena. But personally, I'm not smart enough or fast enough to understand it without breaking the Sunday. So that's why I've been encouraging everybody here to try to get a sense of breaking the Sunday. And unfortunately, the text that you have doesn't break the Sunday. If you look at the Sargent on the web, it does break the Sunday.
So Yanam etena.
Right.
Yanino.
Jnanino, that's good.
Yanino. Nitya Vairina.
Nitya Vairuna, that's a compound. Okay, good.
Kamarupena.
Kamarupena.
Kaunitya.
Counteya, that's vocative.
Kaunteya. Duspur and Nanalena.
This has a Sunday. And make a. So dushpanena,
Dushpurena.
nalena. Dushpanena, analena cha.
Analena cha.
Very good. Dushpanena, analena cha. So knowledge, I take that spiritual knowledge is covered. Knowledge of the self is covered by this. And the one having knowledge, jnanino, in is a possessive suffix. This is genitive singular, jnanino. It is of the the knowledgeable, it is there is constant enmity.
Enmity?
Enmity, like
Hate,
Opposition or like?
opposition.
Anger, friction.
Yeah,
Like an
it's
enemy.
Vairina. Yeah, opposition.
Okay.
That'd be good. Kamarupena kanteya dushpanena alena cha. So it takes the form of kama,
Desire.
O Kaunteya, that's the name of Arjuna. Dushpanena,
Son of Kunti.
Analena cha. Anala. Anala can be either fire or wind. I think it's fire here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like a fire that's hard to put out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll read a few here and get us to the end. Indriyani mano buddhir asya adhishtana muchyate attire vimoha yati esha jnanam avritya dehinam. The indriyas, the manas, there are different interpretations of manas and buddhi.
Mm-hmm.
In one school, the manas in Nyaya, it's a kind of separate sense organ. It's like the internal sense organ.
Okay.
But in the Taittiriya Upanishad, they talk about the manomaya kosha, the body, and there it really seems like we have two levels of mentality. Manas is the mentality we share with animals. So, animals have mentality. I mean, dogs know their name. Cats, you put the milk there, they know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
They think it out, right? They plot out. I mean, even the hummingbirds, I mean, they all have a kind of mentality, but they don't have buddhi. Buddhi is more higher mind, right? So this one is saying that
And then in
that we
yoga,
have
it's-
the adhishtanam. Buddhir is the adhishtana
Oh, I see. Buddhi.
of it. Indriyana mano buddhir asya adhishtana. I see. Atir vimohayati esha jnanam avrita
It's
dehinam. So,
Adhishtana.
I think it's saying it could mean that manas is the support for the indriyas, and buddhi.
Oh.
I mean, it's just this hierarchy like we get in the Sankhya philosophy. You get a hierarchy, right? There are the sense organs, and then there's the manas, and then the buddhi, and then the atman. That's in the Katha Upanishad. But
Okay, so right.
here,
But isn't asya, isn't that masculine and indriyani is neuter?
yeah, that's right.
So,
So,
can we say
Asya
uh,
Kamarupena.
so I want to say
So it must be the kama.
yeah, kama.
Kama
which
is
masculine.
Kama does infect the senses, the mind, and the buddhi.
That's where it hangs out.
Yeah, that's
the
where it
thing.
hangs out.
Yeah.
It hangs out in the senses, the mind, and even the higher intelligence. In the animal intelligence, it hangs out there. And I see. And so Jnanam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Vimohayati is confused. Avritya dehinam. The dehinam is the self, right? The one who has a body. In again is that possessive suffix. So jnanam.
Bahuvritti?
No.
No?
Dehinam in line 40.
Oh, okay.
That's the one who has a body. So that's usually the Atman.
Oh, but I mean, Jnanamavartya, no, because it's got an ending, I guess. Okay, I see.
Well, jnanam, actually,
Like wisdom covering or knowledge
Dehinam.
covering.
jnanam, dehinam, covering up. Knowledge is confused by them.
Okay.
I suppose that's going to be all of those, right? Indriyani, Mano, Buddhir. There's some spiritual knowledge, jnanam, that's higher, right? That gets vimohayati Aisha. Oh,
Confused.
Aisha's got to be masculine singular. So Aisha, where do we have a?
Why?
So
Oh,
where do we have a masculine singular?
it's still gotta be comma, right?
Kama rupena. Yeah, but that's Indriyanam and Buddhir asya adishtanam uchite etar vimohayati Aisha.
Oh, or
I think Aisha's Purusha,
okay, or yeah, okay.
or the Atman.
Maybe the Atman, right? That is embodied,
Yeah,
the one who has the body.
yeah. But that's also accusative. So this one is confused by those, maybe this is jnana that belongs to the body. Oh, covering jnana, which belongs to the body.
Yeah.
Dehinam. Indriyani mano buddhir asya adishtanam. Asya's got to be kama rupa. Oh, so kama is situated in the indriyas, the manas and so on.
Yeah.
Right. A tire vimohayati, a person, purusha, is confused by them, covering up its knowledge, covering up the soul, the self. Yeah, that had some pretty awkward grammar to it, I must say. Tasmat tvam indriyan adau niyamya bharatarshava patbhamanam prajahi hi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, you, tvam, right? Tvam, namada singular, te, like in namaste. Tvam, indriyani, adau, from the beginning, niyamya, right? The yamas and the niyamas, controlling the sense organs. O bull of warriors, renounce this wrongdoer, for it is a destroyer of both knowledge and vijnana. Now, vijnana is really high in knowledge, right? I mean, vijnana is going to be more like enlightenment. Jnana would be just maybe your everyday knowledge. It's not sitting, you have your brow wrinkled.
Oh yeah, it's a lot like viveka almost, right? Like that the it's like almost like discriminative knowledge or discerning wisdom or something.
Oh, V. Oh, like V is one of those 20
Yeah.
verbal prefixes
Yeah, right.
that I think we put a list on the internet.
Yes.
And V has several meanings. V often means to separate,
Right, yeah, like
but not here.
No, okay.
It's it gets its meaning from the word vishesha, which is vishesha is something special and particular.
Oh, okay.
So when you put V on something, it's a special kind of whatever
Cool.
comes next.
Yes.
So vijnanam is a special kind of knowledge.
Okay.
So a lot of gurus use vijnana for something like a lumen mind or higher mind or something like that. Something that is accessible in meditation.
Okay. Yeah, right. I mean, it's even
Special vijnana,
And it's
knowledge
past-
and special
And
knowledge.
it's past the indriyas, potentially, right? And past the manas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher state of being.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I mean, in
Yeah, you've got a good kind of hierarchy there.
But
right?
in Buddhism, it's also the fifth skandha. I mean, that is the Buddhist word for mind. For the Buddhist word for mind or awareness itself is vijnana.
Oh, is vijnana?
Yeah, rupa, vedana, sanjña, sanskara, vijnana.
Okay. Rupa.
Na rupa, na vedana, na sanjña, na sanskara, na vijnanam.
Okay.
Yeah, none of those. You got none of those.
Okay. Yeah, what can you say?
And then they talk about different vijnanas, right? Like the alaya vijnana or
Right.
something is the
Right.
right. Then you divide the vijnana is divided into 6. So you have the indriyas,
Uh-huh.
right? But then you have a vijnana that focuses on the eye sense power, and a vijnana that focuses on the ear sense power, and a vijnana that focuses, and then you have a vijnana that focuses even on manas.
One thing I learned in philosophy of language, which I didn't learn very much, but is that context rules. I mean,
Yeah.
words have
Yeah.
sort of fixed meaning,
Yeah.
but they vary in context.
Mhm.
You can't just absolutely pin something down, say that's what it means.
Yeah, of course.
You always have to take its setting, its usage into account. And so, hey, Sanskrit has a history of about 3,000 years of literature,
Right.
and so obviously some usages are going to be pretty different from other usages.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so we're to 42. We're almost to the end of this one. Indriyani. Oh, here's the definite order. Indriyani paraniyahu. Indriyebhya paramana. So the Indriyanis are superior to the objects of senses, right? Indriya, Indriye. What's it? Indriyani pranayahur indriyebhya. Indriyani pranayahur indriyebhya paramana. Oh no, okay, parani. There's no word for the objects. Yeah, no, I take that back. So the Indriyani somehow are, but you think superior, they got to be superior to something. Parani means superior.
Yeah.
They're said to be superior, and I would think that would be to the objects.
Yeah.
But superior to the Indriyas, Indriyebhya, that's dative plural.
Okay.
Dave plural. Right, you got to learn Rama. You get through the 24 forms. And higher than the Indriyas is the manas. Manasastu para buddhir.
Okay.
Buddhi is higher than the manas.
Yes.
That's ablative singular, than, right?
Okay.
And buddhi is nominative. Yo buddhair parata to sa. So that's got to be Atman. Higher than the Atman.
Whoa,
So higher than the buddhi is the
is
self.
the
Is self.
Yeah.
And now there's no obvious antecedent to self.
Antecedent? Something higher than
What
that.
the pronoun refers to. So is a pronoun.
Oh.
But it's got to be Purusha or Atman, I would think. Well, I guess it's got to be Purusha because that's what occurred earlier.
Yeah,
right?
we hope it's coming or something, right? But he hasn't.
It's or maybe it's like, he with or she with a capital S, something like that.
Higher self.
Yeah. Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva.
Now he mentions it.
Excuse me?
Now he mentions it. Sorry, go on, I'm sorry.
Okay. Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva Samstabhya. That's a participle. And then Sunday. Samstabhya Atmanam Atmana Jahi Shatru Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasanam. So, cognizing, knowing what is, in this way, knowing what is superior to the buddhi. Samstabhya. Sta means to stand. Some stand all together. Samstabhya. Be firm. Stand firm. Stabhya. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's not sta. That's stub. Firm. Make the self firm by the self.
What in the heck?
Samstabhya. Samstabhya atmanam, that's accusative singular, atmana. So, knowing what is param,
High.
in this way, what is param, what is superior to the buddhi, make firm the self by the self. Atmana is instrumental singular, atmanam is accusative singular. Samstabhya, atmanam atmana. Jahi Shatru Mahabaho, great armed one, Mahabaho, that's your baha is your arm. Kamarupam durasam, difficult, takes the form of kama, difficult to root out.
What do you think? What sustain the self with the self?
Sustain, he says?
I mean, maybe I'm just saying, like whatever, like nurture, uphold, support together. What do you?
Well, I suppose you identify these different parts of your being, right? I'm guessing here. You identify these parts of your being, but when you find the power of consciousness, the Chitti Shakti, Chitti Shakti, you discipline, and the Katha Upanishad says, you discipline the self by the self. You've gotten to this, to somehow some pure consciousness. These are instruments. And also, the word Atman, and here Atmanam, has a range. It can range from the body. I mean, in common Sanskrit, don't hit me. And Atmanam, don't hit, Atmanam can be the body. Oh, I hit myself. Oh, I bumped into, I hurt myself. Atmanam.
The difference between a small A and a big A.
Yeah, bigger. That's right. Again, context.
Yeah.
And so the one that's in the accusative, Atmanam, that could be the body or the lower self, including the buddhi and the manas and the indriyas, all the way down to the objects of the indriyas. Discipline the self by the self. I know that doesn't sit well with any Buddhist, but
No, I don't know. No, it's
Okay.
okay. I'm just wondering what it means in practice.
I would say in practice is you're in a sattvic place and you make decisions over what food I choose today because that will support my sattvic being.
yes.
So it's it's all those, it's like the yamas and the niyamas, it's all those small steps that help support you to go to this place of ascetic beingness so that you can manage to stay in that place longer.
Relate the sattvic focus to focus on self.
Okay.
Because he doesn't say sattva guna here, right? But me, though sattva is.
This is not Sankhya. This is Vedanta.
It's the chapter on Sankhya.
Yeah, well, it says it's a chapter on karma yoga.
Right.
We just read at the
basic
beginning of
example.
class, Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade Karma Yoga Nama.
Okay.
Tritiyo Dhyaya.
The next paragraph supports what he's saying. What is it, shloka? What do we say? Or is it a shloka?
Would you say shloka?
Shloka. Yeah,
the next
shloka.
shloka, you know.
The next shloka
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
talking about this yoga
Yeah.
that he's given long ago, right? Imam, okay, Sri Bhagavan Vacha Ata Chaturtha, the fourth adhyaya, the fourth chapter. Imam Vivaswate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Munir Ichvaka Ve. That's a tough one. That's a tough name. Ichvakave abravit. That's like te, that's dative, right? And the other one is also dative. So, proktavan, aham, I, aham,
Oh.
aham,
Oh.
aham, I.
We don't have this.
Don't you have?
Wait 1 minute.
Don't you have imam vivas?
This the start of chapter 4.
Yeah, chapter. Oh, you don't have chapter 4.
Yeah, no.
It is. I just printed it as
Oh,
we sat
okay,
here.
I'm sorry.
It's
No,
still
no, no.
hot off the press.
Hot off the press, chapter 4. Okay.
So, along with what he was saying, it's like, do I give in to my anger or do I sit with my anger and be present with it so that it doesn't consume me and I
Right.
work through it as opposed to letting it consume me?
That's-
So, I mean, it's like those minute-to-minute decisions
Yes.
that allow me to go maybe to a place of beingness
Where
that
you
isn't
get the bliss.
controlled by the senses, the
Right.
emotions, whatever it might be. I mean, that to me is that's the part of the journey. Every moment of our day is
Yeah,
flavored around
we're
that.
involved with these
Right.
parts of ourselves.
Right.
Right. Yes.
So if I stub my toe, do I just be angry and have that carry throughout my day, right? Or do I sit with it, take care of it, and say what, you know what I mean?
You learn.
Yeah,
You learn mindfulness.
exactly.
I know. I hurt my back. Boy, I was very mindful for. I was like, oh boy,
Well, but you're-
go slow.
Right. No, that actually is a very good point. I know for myself, being present and being really present in my body has helped. Yoga has helped me a lot. The practice of hatha yoga, because I am so much sometimes in my head that I will injure my body. Okay, and so what's happened?
Me too. I like
Right, and so what's happened is, as I've become more aware of and being present, I've injured my body less.
Me too.
Right, and that's been a great teacher for me, you know, because this vehicle allows me to have the experience I want in my spiritual growth here, you know?
And yeah, I mean that's kind of like what that idea we had of yoga karma sukhaushalam. Yoga is skill and works. You learn how to manage all these parts of yourself.
Right. Another example, I used to not be really present sometimes in my vehicle, right? Because I would be already where I wanted to be, right? And I've had a share of.
Yeah, people are so distracted.
I know,
It's
especially with your
dangerous.
phones and stuff, right? And again, I made a conscious decision to be more present in my vehicle. I have not had any problems
Good.
in like a decade or more now.
Oh, good.
You know?
Good.
But it's really been like, you know, sometimes it has to be in my face to learn, right?
Well, yeah. You know, I find it sometimes a little boring. And so I try to do
Driving?
driving. I
Yeah.
try to do alternate nostril breathing
Oh, while you're driving?
while I'm driving.
With your hand or just?
Well, either
Intention.
or you just an imagination, right?
Yeah, right.
You don't have to use your
I know,
hand.
I'm just saying, no, hands on the wheels, right?
Yeah.
10 and 2, please.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, the cop comes out. What are you doing?
I'm
You
doing my breath.
Not a good idea.
Start running,
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So anyway, so aham, I, right? I know, ahamkara is thought of as egoism, but Abhinavagupta, there's a big I in tantric Advaita that's good. All right, it's so Proktavan. I spoke this yoga to Vivaswan. That in the text is dative. That's why it's Vivaswate. And this yoga that is imperishable, avyayam, undying. This undying yoga, I spoke to Vivaswan. Vivaswan, Praha, told it to Manu. And then Manu, Abravit, he said it to Ishvakavan. Ishvakava. And then Ishvakave is again dative. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. Sakalena iha mahata yoga nashta parantapa. In this way, the royal seer sayers, or Rajarshi, that's a hard something. The word after Raja is Rishi. You probably have heard of Rishi. They have a tea named Rishi. Right? So it's Rajarshio, so the royal seer sayers. The rishis were also, they're the poets of the Veda, right? The Veda is beautiful poetry. There's no in the Rig Veda, at least, in the Atharva Veda there's some prose, but the Rig Veda has 10 books of beautiful poems in an archaic Sanskrit. That's not so easy. But it's unbelievable how subtle and advanced the meters are. I mean, the Germans were in this kick of knocking the Vedas very primitive, sort of nature worship and so on. But that's belied by the complexity of the poetry, which it does seem I agree with a lot of the Neo-Vedantins that the Veda has a kind of occult sense. The whole 8th book is devoted to Soma, and which is, people argue that's a psychedelic mushroom.
What about people who argue it isn't, as opposed to what?
Some say it's marijuana.
But I thought
Some say it's wine.
Meditations, and that it actually comes from the
Soma?
pineal gland, through meditation.
Some in the Veda it says Soma gives you wild visions.
In Ayurveda, Soma comes from practicing the niyamas and yamas.
Oh, I see. Soma's the drop that comes from the moon back, and
Into
you turn
the body,
or you turn and you get that amrita.
Right.
Soma is Amrita,
Yes.
the nectar of immortality.
With Kechari Mudra, right, where you reach back and
Have you cut that little thing on their tongue so you can go back or
through, but also through right diet too. You know, it's a combination of things.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, but anyway, so he's saying that these Rajarshis, the royal seer sayers, they knew it, but this yoga, kalena, with time, iha, much time, mahata, right? Like Mahatma Gandhi, maha, great. With great amount of time, the yoga was nashta, was lost. O Arjuna, scorcher of the foe, sa eva, this very yoga, ayam maya, by me, te, right? Namaste, to you, adya, today, prokta, I have told, puratana, this ancient yoga I have told to you today. But why? Bhaktosi. Bhaktosi, you're my beloved. I love you. Bhaktosi me, Sakha. Oh, you're my friend. You're my Bhaktosi me. You are my Bhakta. You are my friend. Rahasyam, for this is the greatest secret. Okay, we can go a few more. Okay, Arjuna Uvacha, this is kind of funny. Aparam bharato janma, param janma vivasvataha, katam etad vichaniyam tvamadao proktavanati. So, aparam, a long time ago, Param, a long time ago, was the birth of Vivasvat. Aparam, later, now, was your birth, Krishna. Katham, how? How are we to understand Vijnayam? That's a gerundive, right? That's a future passive participle. How is it to be known? To be known, future passive participle. How is this to be known that you, in the beginning, were the speaker of this? So that makes sense. You're here now. Yeah. Those guys are long past.
I know your mom.
Okay. Sri Bhagavad Uvacha. So the Blessed One said, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava cha Arjuna. So my birth, janma, many births, many past births belong to me. May, that's genitive for first person pronoun. My births, past births are many. Tava cha, you too. You've had many past births. But I remember them, you don't. Tani aham Veda, I know all of them. Natvam Veda paramta, you don't know. I know my verse, you don't know your verse. Ajopi, son of Yayatma, Bhutanam Ishvaropi son, Prakritim Swam Adishtaya, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. The Vedanta philosophers go crazy on this one. Even though unborn, I am the unborn son. Ishvara, I am the Lord of beings, Bhutani. Son. So Ajopi son of myself. Whose self? This is a Bahuvari. Whose self is avyaya? My self is undecaying. Avyaya.
Myself is
Avyaya. Avyaya. I think avyaya is not means not, and vyaya is from idatu, which means to go, and here's v is like to go away. So myself, I've never lost myself.
Okay.
Krishna's talking, right? My what shall we say? Avyaya, my constant, imperishable self, right? Taking a stand on my own prakriti, on my own nature, adhishtaya, or adhishtaya, sort of, that's the sort of standing over, commanding my own nature. Sambhavami, I come to be. How? And this is what they go crazy over. By my power, Maya. By my Atma Maya. By my Atma Maya. Now, there's, the radical, there's some radical world deniers who can translate Maya as illusion. So the Lord has this power of illusion. But Maya doesn't have to mean illusion, and I don't think it means illusion here. And there are plenty of Vedantins who take it, the root ma is actually cognate with English to measure. Ma means to measure. So by my, I want to say, self-delimitation, by my measuring, look, the Lord is omnipresent, vibhu, right? Everywhere. And, timeless, so on, right?
Yes.
But to be formed is to be delimited. I mean, you can't have any form whatsoever, not even Shiva, Parvati, no form whatsoever without delimitation, without measurement, without having some edge against something else.
Yes.
So by my power of measurement or self-delimitation.
If I wish you could say, I mean, when you say delimitation, because I don't mostly know that word, but you mean like limitation. I mean,
okay.
I don't know if the D is
I am everywhere,
but I can limit myself.
Yeah, limit, okay, limit. Forget delimit, that's
Maybe.
too fancy a word. I made limit.
Just so I know that.
I limit myself, so that's good. Yeah, I limit myself. But
And
that's delimit has limit has more negative connotation than delimit. But never mind. It doesn't matter.
So.
It's not illusion though.
Oh?
Limitation seems to be sliding over to the illusion camp.
Well, I was aware that I was trying to push you in that direction. Right.
But it's Atma Maya. It's my Atma Maya.
So is the Atma delimited?
No, but it has a power to delimit.
It has the power to delimit what?
Itself.
So then it is.
So then it has a double status. This comes out later. Krishna lives in the timeless, but he has this kind of dual consciousness.
So you said it is limited, or delimited, or it's not the Atma.
In itself, it's not.
Oh, so it just seems to be?
No, the Atman is.
But it has the ability to delimit itself.
Yeah.
But if it delimits itself successfully, then isn't it then delimited?
Then it's you.
So it is delimited.
Yeah, it is.
Or it
Well,
just
it has two statuses.
Or
It
just
has a status in becoming and a status beyond becoming. I think that's the theology or
That's the
philosophy.
crazy part.
that's the illusion.
Right.
Well,
I
some
would
call
say.
it illusion, but that's very negative about the.
Why is it negative?
It allows us to be in different places in different ways.
Because
And
I don't
isn't
take
this-
you to be an illusion. I take you to be a solid, becoming.
But Arjuna
Oh,
says,
right.
he says, look, I know your mom. Right? Like, you were just born. What are you saying? You told it to him who told it to Manu in the beginning of the universe. What are you talking about? He said, oh, you mean this form? You see?
Yeah, this
I
form
who
is
am
the-
everywhere have present, and you know what? I understand why you would get that wrong. You see?
Okay.
That is Maya, as it's normally presented.
Well,
right?
wrong. I don't
okay.
see. That's what I disagree with. Is that when you say wrong? I mean, I.
Well,
think-
no,
I mean,
you said the word wrong. I just said Maya. But to say that Maya means there's a way in which Arjuna's wrong, he's wrong if he thinks
Well,
that
He's limited.
the
that
form-
that's all there is, right?
Yeah.
That there's all there is.
Yeah.
There's this transcendent
that's
part.
wrong. What he sees
Yeah,
exists,
Arjuna,
but he sees it
Arjuna
wrong.
lives in ignorance. That's true of the higher self. That's
Right.
true.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Krishna shows him what
Yes.
else is possible.
yeah.
Yeah. When they say, right, when a magician throws down a stick.
See, you're still in this illusion crap.
A magician throws down a stick and he says a mantra, and the audience thinks there's a cow
Snake.
there. Fine,
Whatever.
Let's say a snake. The audience thinks there's a
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't
couple.
like this analogy.
Well, listen. I'm not comparing it to anything yet. But there is a stick. No one's saying there's not a stick.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. All right. Very good. Well, look, there's a lot of interpretation.
Maya is not Abhava.
There's like 17 major sub-schools of Vedanta.
Yes.
And the Vedanta is the philosophic school and yoga lineage that comes out of the Upanishads.
Yeah.
And the Gita is looked upon as a kind of little Upanishad. It's not that same order as an Upanishad, but within Vedanta they look upon it as a little Upanishad. It's not quite the authority of the Brihadaranyaka and Chandogya Taittiriya, the 12 or 13 classical Upanishads, but it's still. But when it comes to Ishvara, it's what everybody goes by. It's really the when you talk about Ishvara. But there are, like I say, there are I think 17 major sub-schools of Vedanta.
Okay.
And they all read Atma Maya slightly differently according to their metaphysics.
Yeah. Right.
The little creature here, do we leave it or?
You almost all of us leave it, but not me.
Okay. When you say 17 Vedantas, 17 different versions of philosophy?
Yeah, I think the reason I have 17 in my head is there's a text called the Brahma Sutra, also called the Vedanta Sutra, that systemizes the philosophy of the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, and argues against other systems like Sankhya and Yogacara Buddhism, Nyaya Vaisheshika. So it's in classical philosophy. It was probably written about 2,000 years ago, where the Gita is much older than that. And so it's a systematic work. And I think there are 17 different commentaries on the Brahma Sutra.
Oh, really?
And that's how you get this different schools, because they argue like Vishishta Dvaita Vedanta by Ramanuja, they're quite at the throats of Advaita Vedanta. In fact, I find it quite distasteful sometimes. Ramanuja's, I know, looked upon as, in certain circles, Vaishnava circles, as just the greatest of philosophers and gurus. But he is so nasty about Shankara.
Really?
Really nasty.
Okay.
Practically name calling.
Wow.
And Shankara is a Maya, stressing Maya. But then Shankara is so important, there are actually different schools of interpretation of Shankara. There's the Bhamati school and Vivarana schools. It gets kind of complicated. But Shankara is the oldest commentary on the Brahma Sutra, the oldest commentary that we have on the Gita. And so he has, I don't know, a certain authority. And he, I think to his credit, he doesn't just, I mean, you know, he's talking about Maya. I mean, and Shankara's one interpretation of Shankara really emphasizes illusion, but that's not the only one.
Okay.
There's the Bhamati interpretation of Shankara even that doesn't emphasize illusion, that emphasize it's a conscious act of Atman to delimit itself, to limit itself, to become you and me and everything else.
Or would you say to limit itself, or would you say to appear to be limited?
Okay, you could say.
But you see the problem that you would
Well,
incur
appear is
by
not
admitting
just
that.
appear. It depends on how you take appear. Appear, you know, realistically, or appear illusion, you know, like an illusion.
If
like
you equate Maya with abhava, if you equate illusion with non-existence, then you are denying illusion.
I don't equate them.
So if you equate illusion with some sort of existence, then you affirm illusion. Illusion is a thing that exists. And if illusion amounts to abhava, non-existence,
I don't know why
then
we're
you're-
talking about illusion. We're talking about Maya.
He just
We can't even agree on the definition here.
We're talking about limitation.
right, yes.
Maya, to make measured.
Yes, in this case, to make measured.
To make measured.
To make measured what is measureless?
Yeah, the measureless
Well,
becomes
there's
measured.
the problem. Oh, it
The
becomes
measureless becomes measured.
So it is no longer measureless once it's
No.
measured. No, it is
No,
still
it has
measureless,
a
even
double
though it is
status.
measured.
It has two statuses.
You have two possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah, look, just like we've had this hierarchy, right?
Right.
It's at the top. The unchanging Atman is at the top. It's like everyone is Tathagata karma.
Right. That's a higher truth,
Okay?
right? As opposed to the lower truth.
Okay.
Which is
That's
the way-
right.
The way things seem. As
Okay,
opposed to-
this is operating also in two truths.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I think most.
Okay, two truths.
That's what
Fine.
everyone says
I'll
about
grant you
Maya.
that.
This is how Maya is
Yeah,
always
yeah.
described.
Yeah. You know, Buddhists are famous for arguing. You know?
Oh,
Actually, much
right.
of Indian philosophy.
As
this is-
opposed to Nyaya scholars.
Touche.
Yeah. But we enter into different states of consciousness. I mean, look at our dream state.
Yeah, right. Dream.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, to me, it's like we're having to operate with natural law to keep this body safe in this dimension.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you missed what I was saying, but that's been one of my bigger lessons
Right.
in this life.
Right. But of course, you would go too far by believing that the phantoms you see in a dream are uncaused. It's not that there are actual objects out there in the world, but they do have causes.
Right.
There is some
Right.
causal process that has taken place to evoke that
Right.
dream.
Exactly.
Well, look, the next verse is probably the most famous of all the Gita, or
Okay.
one of the 5 or 6 most famous verses, and we'll finish on it. I learned a tune for this. I can't sing very well, but I'll give it a shot. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So this says that yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever there's a diminution, glanir, of dharma and a rising up of adharma, I loose myself forward. Srijamyaham. Srija, it's, you know, like this is like like a spider emits the web out of its own body. Shrich is to admit. I admit. I emit. I'm sorry if I didn't get emit. E-M-I-T, right? Emit myself.
Yeah, like for
And why? Paritranaya, for protection of sadhus and the destruction of evildoers. To reestablish Dharma, I come to be Sambhavami, Yuge, in age after age.
So anytime now we should be expecting him.
Yeah, we need it. We need it. Kamala.
Yeah, maybe that's her.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Let's chance the end of this one. Let's go to the end, and we'll go on chapter 4, and so we can close with the colophon of chapter 4, which is on the last page of
50.
page 50, right? So let's do it all together. Om, everybody, Om. Tat Sati Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga Nama Chaturdhyaya. So this is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This is the yoga of sannyasa, of
or something.
maybe renouncing knowledge and action. I don't think that's quite right. Or maybe it's depositing jnana and karma. Because he says, deposit, give your karma to me, says Krishna. So sannyasa could be not renunciation. Sometimes it's translated that, but maybe it's more deposit, give it over to me.
He's the Christ-like one. In
Yeah,
his,
yeah.
Similar to Christian tradition that way. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you all for
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you so much.